Respecting Labour Rights, Part 1. In these two videos, we will be diving deeper into the International Labour Organization Tripartite Declaration of Principles concerning multinational enterprises and social policy, and key indicators in Principle 6 of the 2018 RSPO Principles and Criteria, which we spoke about in the intermediate section, what they mean, and how RSPO members respect international labour rights standards by complying with these indicators. The palm oil industry has the potential to generate substantial economic and social development for communities in developing countries. However, it has and continues to be linked with negative impacts on workers and their livelihood, as well as working conditions. We have witnessed several reports linking the palm oil industry to alleged labour rights abuses and violations, including child labour and the worst kinds of forced labour. These reports suggest that labour conditions in the palm oil industry are lacking and that people are in dire need of protection. How does RSPO tackle this issue? There are 7 criteria in Principle 6, which aim to protect and respect workers' rights and working conditions. In this video, we will talk about criteria 6.1, 6.2, and 6.3, and we will cover criteria 6.4 to 6.7 in Part 2 of Respecting Labour Rights. 6.1. Any form of discrimination is prohibited. This means that workers, whether permanent, casual, or contractual, are not discriminated against and get equal employment opportunity. Discrimination could be based on workers' gender, national identity, race, religion, or any other status, and includes benefits that are provided to the workers, such as medical coverage or insurance, which are mandatory under RSPO requirements. Members are encouraged to uplift communities and provide opportunities for employment to groups such as women and local communities, with the intent of enhancing the earning capacity of vulnerable sections of the community and providing livelihood opportunities. Compliance to this indicator can be produced through documentation, such as job descriptions and appraisals, to show that opportunities for work are presented equally and contracts are clearly worded and simple to understand. The 2018 P&C also prohibits the payment of recruitment fees, which can lead workers into serious debt. Foreign and migrant workers should not pay anything that a local worker is not required to pay, unless mandated by law, and a worker should also not be selected for the job because they can pay such fees. We will talk more about this in the ethical recruitment video. 6.2. Pay and conditions for staff and workers, and for contract workers, always meet at least legal or industry minimum standards and are sufficient to provide decent living wages. All payment to workers must meet the legal or minimum wage based on the country's national requirements and move towards the payment of a decent living wage. Pending the development of RSPO living wages benchmarks, members are required to ensure that minimum wages are paid to the workers and an assessment of prevailing wages is conducted. We will talk more about this in the living wage video. 6.3. The unit of certification respects the rights of all personnel to form and join trade unions of their choice and to bargain collectively. Where the right to freedom of association and collective bargaining are restricted under law, the employer facilitates parallel means of independent and free association and bargaining for all such personnel. All workers, both migrant and contract, must be allowed to exercise their freedom of association by way of collective bargaining through trade unions or other means chosen by the workers, without interference by the management in terms of formation, election, or operations. In Part 2 of Respecting Labour Rights, we will cover the issues of child labour, harassment and abuse in the workforce, forced labour, safety, and how compliance to Principle 6 of the 2018 RSPO P&C leads to the decrease of these occurrences.